Last week on the programme, we had a big section on menopause, and we took your calls on that as well, looking at the physical, psychological changes that occur.
Yes, well, now it's believed that women could delay the process of menopause for up to 20 years. This is what they're calling a medical breakthrough. It's absolutely fascinating.
It was big front page of the newspapers yesterday, and the procedure, which is the first of its kind in the world, the whole idea is about tricking the biological clock, and a number of women have already undergone the surgery in this country, including Dixie-Louise Dexter. And she says it has been life-changing for her. There she is on holiday from Spain.
Hi, Dixie.
Morning.
We've also in the studio got Dr. Larisa and Mr. Hemant Vakharia, who was involved in ProFam. This is the company who've pioneered this surgery. Talking to them in just a minute, but let's go to you, Dixie-Louise. When did you have this surgery and why?
Yeah, I had the surgery last summer. I had struggled with endometriosis for over 12 years now, and I'd got to a point where I needed to do something to take control of my body and get some quality of life. So I opted to have a hysterectomy. And along with the hysterectomy, I was offered the ovarian grafting, and that took place at the same time last summer.
It's a pioneering treatment, as we said, very, very new. What were your thoughts when you were told that this is something that could actually stop you going into early menopause?
Well, I didn't know anything about it, so my consultant, he was great. He answered all of my questions and put me at ease really easily. And it was a really simple decision for me to make. Because of the treatments that I'd had previous for my endometriosis, I had been on different hormone supplements that had actually put me in the chemical menopause twice before. So I actually had experience of what the menopause could be like. So to be offered this treatment that could stop that happening, I felt so lucky and privileged to have that opportunity.
And can I ask you, you said you were having some kind of menopause symptoms. What was happening and how much better has that been since you had the surgery?
I was absolutely awful to live with, to be honest. My moods were horrendous. I had hot flushes. I couldn't sleep at night. I had terrible weight gain. And my body felt old. I felt like I was trapped in a 90-year-old's body, and I didn't have control over myself anymore, or the way that I felt. And the effect that had on my mental well-being was really difficult. And
since then?
I lost who I was.
Since the surgery, how much better is it?
I feel amazing. Like, I feel the best that I've ever felt in my whole adult life. I feel like a completely new woman. I probably feel younger than I did now.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It really is good to hear. We want to bring in now Mr. Vakharia now on this, who's been a consultant for the past 4 years, and you helped pioneer this groundbreaking procedure.
Well, there's actually a team of 4 individuals, Professor Fishel, Mr. Afifi, Professor Kumarasamy and Professor Amarin, who were the main people that pioneered this treatment in this country. I'm very much sort of involved in the performing the surgery. OK. How do you feel when you hear stories like Dixie-Louise now? Well, I think it's very, very sort of heartwarming and reassuring to know that this sort of treatment is helping women such as Dixie get relief from menopausal symptoms.
Can you explain this treatment and how it works? Because people are it's a bit mind-blowing. You say, hang on, you can halt my menopause for up to 20 years. How does it work?
So the ovaries themselves produce hormones, which estrogen and progesterone, which help the body and the functioning of the body and the reproductive system. What this surgery does is that at a certain age, if you have the surgery and you remove a portion of the ovary, that can then be frozen and then used later in life. The ovaries themselves have a number of follicles in them, which every month a certain number of them are used to produce the hormones and to produce an egg, which you may or may not conceive with. And over time, as you get older, the number of follicles diminishes. So what you're doing is you're taking a piece of the ovary and freezing it at that time, which can then be reused later. Absolutely.
The young ovary, you freeze it, then you reintroduce it back into the body, and then what does that do that actually halts the menopause?
So it takes a few months to get back to functioning, but once the graft of tissue starts to work again, it then continues to produce the hormones that it would have done when it was removed.
Which then stop you going into menopause?
That's right, yeah.
Dr. Larisa Corder is a fertility expert. This has implications then on women's fertility. I mean, what do you think of the whole treatment? And It sounds incredible.
It sounds very science fiction,
Yes.
doesn't it, when you first hear about it, the whole concept of grafting and being able to capture tissue and preserve it in time. And I think it's really, really exciting, not just because of the fact that women might be able to avoid some of these awful, really debilitating menopausal symptoms that women can suffer with for, you know, up to 12 years. Sometimes the menopause lasts for in some women. But also to help women who want to have children later in life. So we're all aware that actually women are getting older now when they're having children. That's happening for a combination of different reasons. You know, more and more women are having careers now, postponing having children until they meet the right partner. And that's all to be commended. But the problem is that biologically, nothing's really changed for women. And they are going to have that, what we call ovarian decline. So they're going to start losing eggs, and the eggs are going to be poorer in quality, making it more difficult to get pregnant. So potentially, we may be able to use this treatment to help women to have children later in life. A bit like we're doing with egg freezing now.
Yeah. I mean, Dixie-Louise did have her treatment on the NHS, but because it was for medical reasons, she had to have a hysterectomy.
Yeah.
But this is available, I mean, obviously not available for all women on the NHS. How much does it cost for this kind of work?
So the cost varies based on how you're having it done. So for some individuals who may be having it as an opportunistic procedure, for example, if you were having a caesarean section or you were going to have another procedure, then the cost really is only for the sort of the freezing and the processing of the tissue. It varies somewhere between £2,500 if you're having it opportunistically, or if you were going to have it done as a planned procedure specifically for that, it can cost up to £7,000.
Now, let me just clear me up on this one. So although you can delay the menopause for up to 20 years, when this is reinserted, when this is reattached, the menopause still happens then, does it? You're delaying...
That's right. So the menopause effectively means that there is a cessation in the function of your ovary.
Yeah.
Now, what we're saying is that this tissue just delays that end point.
Right.
Yeah, okay. So essentially women will be able to, if they want to get pregnant, be able to use the eggs that are there that have been captured at that point in time. And drawing it back to endometriosis, it's quite an interesting condition because actually women who have this tend to undergo that process of ovarian ageing sooner.
Well, it is fascinating. Ovarian grafting. I'm sure we'll hear a lot more about it. Thank you both
thank
very much.
you.
And Dixie-Louise, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your holiday.